welcome to the Engadget live stream of Microsoft's Surface Event 2022. I am Deputy Editor Cherlynn Lowe. Joining me today as our special guest co-host is fellow Deputy Editor Nate Ingraham. Hey Nate, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
You know,
Yep.
it's
review season.
It's review season. It's news season. It's everything. But I will not dwell on that too much. We will talk about that a little further. But today, Microsoft has its keynote, and it's slated to start at 7 a.m. Pacific. You thought I was going to say 10? Oh.
You got me.
I turned a brain fart moment into a real good joke. No, I did not.
That's all right.
But yes, at 10 a.m. Pacific, no, 10 a.m. Eastern.
10 a.m. Eastern, 10 minutes from now.
Thank you. 10 minutes from now, Microsoft event will kick off. And we're here just to kind of chat with the audience a little bit, remind you when to go for your toilet break, go have like some coffee virtually together. Nate, though, people don't see you on the YouTube live streams for Engadget a lot. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Bachelor number one? No, I'm kidding. Tell us a little bit about yourself, like your OS loyalties, your operating system loyalties.
Yeah, that's a good question. My loyalties lie first to Mac OS, and then to I'm a Chromebook nerd too, so like Windows is like third place. But I will say that I do love weird like convertible devices. I think the Surfaces are super cool. I like the iPad Pro, and I like the weird hardware stuff that Microsoft does. Like, I think it's really interesting. So kind of curious to see what they're gonna show us today.
I mean, I think that's the question that we should ask now in the pre-show too, which is, what are people hoping to see? Leave your hopes and wishes in our chat, because we are able to talk to you live today. I want to say hi to everyone that's here, especially the regulars. I'm sorry, I have a bias towards people who regularly come back to hang out with us, like Mark Dell. We've got Jonathan Anderson. We've got one of our favorites, I can poop twice a day, yay. Nate, welcome to the Engadget.
I even from the few times I've done the podcast, I remember Mark and Jonathan, I believe. So,
and you remember I can poop twice a day, yay?
I do.
See, there we go.
I'm very pleased for that person.
Exactly. We love your username. Hello to also the slightly less familiar names like Mark's Apollo, Lalos SHW or Saw, Among Us, Jonoi Joseph, Biddy Balboa, Little Fingers seems familiar, Barat, Boda Wang, Dom Larry, Michael Coley is familiar. We're glad you're here. Chuch also said hi. Jiming Zhong is here. Wow, we got a lot of you here today.
We have a dev god, which makes you think that they're just a big Devinger fan.
Yeah, but maybe they're developer fans, or
I guess that's probably more likely.
We got people talking also a little bit about, I think Among Us has a deep cut here. Among Us says, please make Surface Phone.
I saw that too. I don't think that's going to happen, I'm afraid.
I feel like the closest we're going to get to a Surface Phone today is maybe another Surface Duo,
Do you remember when the last one came out? It's been a bit.
It's like at least 5 years, because don't forget the pandemic.
No, not 5 years. The Surface Duo?
No, not the Duo. Surface.
Oh yeah. No, that's the
last Duo was maybe like last year or the year before.
Yeah.
I remember attending an in-person event, so it must have been last year. The one with the huge camera bump on the back.
Yep.
That was the Surface Duo 2. I'm noticing that people are also noticing an audio lag, so we are going to take a break to reset the audio. Bear with us, we will be right back. back. Thank you for your patience. We are trying to figure out we were trying to figure out the audio issues, and hopefully we are back in sync, so let us know. But in the meantime, it's a lot of good questions. Jonathan Anderson goes, are we missing the clap? Which is a podcast reference. Today we're not actually recording audio for the podcast, so we will not be doing the clap.
Should we do like an honorary clap?
Okay, let's get everyone in the chat. Get your clappy emoji ready. We are going to fake clap or clap for no reason. How about that?
It's, right. It's not going to do anything, but what the heck?
Yeah. So we're gonna do on the count of three. Me and Nate are going to clap, so we make sure our so-called audios are in sync, even though we're not recording audio. So everybody, get ready. And 3, 2, 1.
Now we're ready.
There we go. All right, now ready.
Someone says you sound a little sore-throated, Cherlynn, and my guess is that's just from like recording a billion videos and other things for all of your reviews lately.
Jiwing Jung says yes, and it's also like first of all, I have to admit I overslept this morning. So
yeah, I was surprised that I beat you onto the
well, I did give you an earlier time than I was gonna tell everyone. I was like, I'm not sure if Nate's an early boy or like a not so early.
I am kind of, actually.
I think I can trust you because you're usually like up early with the new stuff.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, but that's part of the reason. So it's a little earlier in the day for me. But I also, like Nate said, I'm a bit exhausted. But anyway, back to the chat. We've got about 4 minutes before Microsoft's event kicks off, during which me and Nate will mostly be silent. We don't want to interrupt the presentation, but we will react if there is any thing worth reacting to.
Yep.
Then we will do a quick post show afterwards, a live Q&A with all of you, where we can, go over what Microsoft announced and, answer your questions, if any. So we've got some time now to answer some questions. Nate, anything jump out at you?
I was just going to say that we did a good, if you haven't seen it yet, we did a good preview of what to expect that published a few days ago. So if you haven't seen that, you can take a quick look at that. In fact, I'm just going to drop the link.
Shout. Thank you. Please drop the link in the chat because we are...
There it is.
I don't know that we can go into all of it.
But like there's the the most obvious stuff, right, is the Surface Pro 9, which seems highly likely, right? And the rumor there is that they're gonna like merge the ARM based model with the Intel, so they'll have like those two options as part of the Surface Pro 9.
So we are going to see a lot of Surfaces, I believe. Not sure I have high hopes for a new Surface Duo. Want to quickly shout out the rest of the questions in the chat. For example, Martel says you want hard bets on what dumb things they'll do in the presentation. We'll see. I don't know, because I don't feel like Microsoft is as cringeworthy as Samsung's or, App. I don't know that Apple has been cringeworthy. Google takes some pot shots at Apple sometimes that makes me cringe a little bit.
It's a little cringe.
Yeah.
Microsoft stuff is, I feel like their events are pretty chill. Yeah. They're not too like weird.
They're not. They're pretty good. You got Satya. Satya is usually there, but you've usually got Panos because this is a hardware event. Panos is usually like guru
hype,
living in his life. Like he's just in.
He's living his best life.
Oh, he is chill as hell.
Yeah.
M. Elvin Nukman says Surface Studio 2. Are we expecting that? I mean, maybe. It's been a while since the last one. Rent or Arnett the Odd Fellow says, where can the official stream itself be watched? You can watch it right here. You don't have to go anywhere. We're piping in the official stream from Microsoft. We actually receive their feed directly. So one time their stream went down and ours kept going. So
oh, wow.
I wouldn't say just stick around. 2 minutes left. This is your toilet break warning. Everyone that is in the chat, I want to say
get your coffee.
Yes, I want to say hi to everyone that said hi, especially my fellow Singaporean Dennis So, who says hi from Clementi. Kezko, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, says please share the eyelash technique. These are magnetic. We will talk later. Jesse Field says you came. Thanks for coming to our show. Buddy 305 Love, hello. Matthew Short, Sir Holmes, Anthony Pensagro, PM, Johan, Joseph, Colin McGinnis, so many of you. We're so glad you're here. But it's a minute until Microsoft.
Until go time.
until go time. So we've got Apple lover and fanboy Ingraham, as well as PC girl Cherlynn here, and a recent Apple phone user, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, how long have you been using the iPhone as your main jam? I think a little
Since
bit
the
at this
iPhone
point,
14 Pro, the like main, like not like a I don't like it, but I'll force myself to use it situation. The iPhone 14 Pro. So about a month or two.
But I thought that since I feel like I've seen you like with Apple Watch for a bit, and
yeah, that's
you're
because
probably just switching.
No, that's because I use an iPhone 12. I've been using an iPhone 12 for at least 2 years for just to like, familiarize myself. And so I put WhatsApp on there so that I force myself to use it.
Gotcha.
But there we
Is
go.
that your like main chat at this point?
No, WhatsApp is like my all the people I don't really want to talk to, but like
Oh, fun.
So it's like my family.
Yep.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. Don't watch this. Do not. Okay, it looks like the keynote is about to start. Nate, did I cut you off by accident?
No, you're good. I was just saying, looks like we're getting it going.
All right, so stick around, y'all, for the post show, and we will be right back.
How we connect and how we create. To empower more. We had high hopes for everything it would do, but you took it even further. You stood on top of the world and inspired others to join you. You shared your story, elevated your craft, and unleashed your creativity. You stepped into the future and showed everyone what was possible. You made the game your own, passed your success on to the next, and created a legacy beyond words. You stood your ground, bridged the gap, and found ways to connect when connection felt impossible. You chased your dreams and pushed your potential to change a life and build a better world. 10 years ago, we wanted to inspire journeys like yours. Thank you for taking us along for the ride. We can't wait to see what you do next.
The team and I are truly honored to kick things off today by talking about a device that's been at the center of all our lives for nearly 40 years, the Windows PC. And I have to say, it's a long time. I can't believe it's been a decade since Surface began, 10 years, and our journey's been amazing. I'm actually standing in the place where hardware at Microsoft was born, right here, these buildings. And it's actually where I started my career journey, working on interaction technologies for the Windows PC. See, when the PC first started, the interaction model was quite limited. Think about it as text-based, keyboard input. And it was really only understood by a select few. I remember back then writing programs in BASIC. It was quite simple. But with the introduction of Windows, a graphical and more intuitive interface designed around the mouse, so many more people were able to express their ideas and connect through technology to each other in more natural ways. Actually, I vividly remember one of my first meetings here at Microsoft in these buildings. I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was sitting just over there outside the cafeteria with the team, and we're here trying to figure out what is it that was ultimately going to replace the mouse, asking ourselves, how can we build the next great input device? Keep in mind, I came to the company to ship mice, so I'm in this meeting and we're trying to figure out how do we replace it, just like that. There were some wild ideas, for sure. But the memory that sticks, the one that sticks most with me, was when we realized we were focusing on the wrong thing, specifically right at that time. It was so much bigger than just replacing the mouse. That wasn't it. The need we were really trying to address, it didn't start with a device, it started with the person, the human. It started with you, with us, and what you needed to connect through technology across all interaction models that didn't exist yet, including the mouse and keyboard, but also through touch, through voice, through pen, through gesture. All of it seamlessly working together, coming together And from that very conversation, that's when Surface was born. We challenged conventional form factors to remove barriers for you. And together with Windows, over the past 10 years, we transformed the industry. And on our journey, connected with people like you. Now we're at another inflection point right now, like the mouse all those years ago. We're asking ourselves, again, in similar meetings, what's the next wave of innovation for the Windows PC? What can we do to push that even further? Because it's not about how we replace it. It's about how we expand it. How do we tap into the full power of the technology? All that technology that's available to make it even better. And once again, it all starts with you. All right, come with me. Today, we take the next step with Windows 11 and new innovative devices from Surface, extending them with new cloud and AI capabilities to empower you to connect through the magic of the Windows PC in the ways we all need most. So we can all participate. So we can all be seen and be heard. And maybe most importantly, so we can all express ourselves and our creativity. I can't wait for the team to show you this. Now today, watch closely. And even if you don't see every detail, you'll surely feel it. Let's start by taking a look at the next generation Surface laptop.
One.
Seven years ago, we set out to perfect the form factor most people turn to when they want to get things done, the laptop. As a designer on the Surface team, I'm super proud of what we've created. It's become our most loved Surface device, and that's why when we created Surface Laptop 5, we continued to push for that perfection, designing every detail, focusing on the things that matter most to you. Like when you want to get right into your creative flow, it's effortless to open, and Windows Hello recognizes you for a quick login. And you can work the way you want, whether it's using the responsive touchscreen or the large glass trackpad. And you get a typing experience that's accurate, comfortable, and quiet, with each key optimized for an exact balance of travel and responsiveness. You'll feel the difference in craftsmanship and the confidence you need to do your best work. We've tuned all the fundamentals you care about into a design that is sleek and light, in the size or color that suits you, including our newest edition, Sage. Surface Laptop 5 is the perfect balance of beauty and performance. Now built on the latest Intel Evo platform, it's up to 50% more powerful than the previous generation. And with Thunderbolt 4, you can transfer data faster than ever and set up the perfect workspace with two 4K monitors. And all this performance is optimized for power efficiency, so you get all-day battery life, up to 18 hours. and fast charge gets you back to 9 hours of battery life in just 30 minutes. If you're like me, you have to deal with a lot of distractions when you're trying to get things done. That's why there's Focus, a new experience in Windows 11 that helps you stay on track. From one easy location in the notification center, you can start a focus session and filter out distractions. Listen to your favorite songs on Spotify as you run through your to-do list and get into your creative flow. And all this comes together on our stunning new 3x2 Pixel Sense display, which has more vertical space than a traditional laptop, allowing you to see more of your content. Dolby Vision IQ ensures the best possible picture in any lighting, with richer details and sharper contrast. And every Surface laptop is individually tuned in production for color accuracy. Qualities like these are critical to me because they enable me to see every detail of my work. But sometimes it's what you can't see that makes the biggest impact. The speakers are perfectly tuned, and with Dolby Atmos 3D spatial processing, you'll feel immersed in your audio. It sounds incredible. In addition to a great display and speakers, when you want to connect with others, it's important for you to be seen and heard. With Windows 11 and the HD camera, you get true-to-life video that automatically adjusts exposure for any lighting environment. And the front-facing studio microphones capture your voice perfectly. You'll see the difference in accuracy when you're voice typing or want to transcribe your presentation. Getting the details right matters. And building devices with the environment in mind matters too. We are continuing our focus on making the Surface lineup more sustainable each year. But we're not just improving hardware alone. We are proud to announce that Windows 11 is the first computer operating system to offer a carbon-aware feature and schedule Windows updates when your local grid has cleaner energy available, like wind and solar power. The impact this will have across our Windows 11 users has incredible potential and is one step in our journey at Microsoft to be carbon negative by 2030. A laptop is still the go-to device most people use to get things done. That's why you need it to do more, why it has to be perfect, and why we made Surface Laptop 5 with Windows 11 for you.
Talking about lens. Lens actually
Since its release last year, you've told us that you love Windows 11 more than any other version. And that inspires us. You inspire us to take it further. We are excited about the positive response on our first update to Windows 11 that we released a few weeks ago. And now I have the privilege of showing you even more. Over 1 billion people, nearly 1 in 5 individuals, require some level of accessibility to utilize the technology that many of us take for granted every day. One challenge with many existing accessibility tools is that they require selecting the specific accessible app first before you can begin what you set out to do. In Windows 11, we moved accessibility capabilities from the constraints of the apps and into the operating system itself. Windows 11 now includes system-wide live captions from any form of audio content, so you can see it instantly transcribed on the screen. Voice access, which allows you to control your PC using only your voice. And natural voices for narrator, creating more pleasant-sounding audio to assist in navigating, reading, browsing the web, and interacting with apps. These Windows features, paired with our adaptive kit and the new adaptive accessories and 3D printed pen grips, are designed to keep you focused on creating and being productive, putting you at the center. We believe the world is a better place when everyone can participate. In an increasingly connected world, security concerns are top of mind. Windows 11 is the most secure version of Windows ever. Smart App Control uses Microsoft's AI to build a policy which only allows apps to run that are predicted to be safe and will prevent malicious apps by blocking untrusted or unsigned software. Smart App Control also blocks scripts from the internet, which are the most common ransomware attack methods. Using AI, Microsoft assesses over 43 trillion signals a day and blocks over 900 password attacks every second. Even better, Windows 11 with Windows Hello and passwordless support allows you to log into websites and Windows without a password at all, the ultimate defense against phishing. This is Windows working for you to keep you and your family safe. We know you want ways to work faster and more easily. The complexity of switching between projects, finding that document, remembering what you want to do next without getting distracted creates friction points that add up over the course of a day. And that's why we're helping you find files faster with smarter recommendations right in the Start menu, open frequently used apps and websites in an instant by creating new Start menu folders, make adjustments to common controls with quick settings, and stay more organized with tabs in File Explorer. And Snap is now even better. Windows understands that you're trying to arrange your content and conveniently offers you snap layouts that slide in from the top of the screen. And with guided Snap Assist, Windows recommends which apps you can place in the open spaces. This also makes comparing web pages in Microsoft Edge easy yet powerful. More people are turning to Windows to stay connected than ever before. Your ability to truly connect with others and collaborate in this hybrid world is essential. To help you look and sound your best, we are introducing Windows Studio camera and audio effects enabled by advanced AI on new NPU devices. With so much going on around you, staying organized isn't just about what's on the screen. Microsoft Presenter Plus features quick and natural interaction with Teams, so you can easily advance your slides and mute or unmute with the push of a button. And the Audio Dock simplifies your physical desk setup by having one combined accessory for docking to monitors, a premium speaker, and a clear microphone array. When it's time to take a break or unwind from your day, we want to help fuel your passions. Whether you're playing the latest game or looking to lean back and stream, you can now search and find more apps, including over 20,000 Android apps from the Amazon App Store on Windows. When you're ready to jump back into your favorite games on your PC, they're just a tap away with your Xbox controller. Lastly, I want to highlight the work we have done to help Windows customers across their devices. We are continuing our commitment to Windows being the most open platform, putting the customer's needs at the forefront. For the last few years, Windows customers who have Android phones have experienced that promise with integration across messaging, calling, and photos directly to their Windows PC, bringing the two most important devices in their lives closer together. Today, I am excited to announce that we're making it easier than ever for customers to access their iPhone photos and the entertainment they love from Apple on their Xbox and Windows devices. We start by bringing iCloud photo integration into the Windows 11 Photos app. Just install iCloud for Windows from the Microsoft Store, and the photos you take with your iPhone will appear automatically. We also want to help our customers access the entertainment they love even more easily. The Apple TV app is already on Xbox, and starting today, Apple Music will be available as well. We're thrilled to announce that Apple Music and the Apple TV app will launch on Windows next year. Previews of these apps will be available on the Microsoft Store soon. You can listen to your favorite music, playlists, and more from Apple Music. and watch your favorite Apple TV Plus series and movies right on your Windows PC. Integrations like these are just one way we're making Windows available to more people with great experiences you love across every device you use.
10 years ago, we started with an idea to take everything that people love about a high-performance laptop and everything they love about tablets and combine them into one product. Surface Pro created an entirely new category of computing devices. It's a powerful, touch-capable laptop with a full keyboard. It's a thin and light handheld that can run your favorite apps. It's a unique studio canvas for pen input. All this in a single, beautiful device. And now, it gets even better with Surface Pro 9. Every single part of Surface Pro 9 is meticulously crafted with highest grade aluminum to achieve beautiful anodized colors. I love that I can hold it to draw, set it down to watch a favorite show, or jump on a video call hands-free with our iconic kickstand built right into the device. And when you click in the keyboard, it transforms into an incredible laptop. With precisely tuned backlit keys and precision trackpad, you can work from anywhere. And we collaborated with London-based global design house, Liberty. With a special edition Liberty floral print, it pairs beautifully with the new Pro in Sapphire. Underneath an iconic exterior, Surface has always been about performance. That's even more true today with Surface Pro 9. The system is engineered with the latest and most powerful 12th gen processor built on the Intel Evo platform. With Thunderbolt connectors, you can set up two 4K monitors for a powerful desktop setup. This 13-inch Pixel Sense display is stunning. It's engineered to give you the most accurate and the widest range of colors with incredibly smooth gradations. And when I detach the keyboard and bring this beautiful display closer, Windows 11 adapts with larger icon spacing in the taskbar, making it easy to use with just touch. A simple swipe brings up the Start menu where I can find all my apps. Like Kindle, one of my favorite Android apps. It's such a great experience on a touchscreen this large. And with a swipe, I can access my quick settings, including Nightlight, which makes it easier and more comfortable on my eyes. And features like snap layouts work so easily with touch, whether in portrait or in landscape. Pro 9 is also an incredible canvas for writing and drawing with your Surface Slim Pen, always securely stored and charged inside the keyboard so you won't lose it at the bottom of your bag. The pen changes the way I interact with my device. It's so easy to search with just my pen. And when you need to capture a quick thought, click to launch OneNote. You can sketch, drop in images, and take notes all in one place. The pen itself has a micro actuator inside, so you get subtle friction as you write. And the display is fused with optical bonding so the ink flows out from the very tip of your pen. This tech, combined with the new ink focus view in OneNote, makes it feel like you're writing on a real piece of paper. Now, more of your favorite note-taking apps are coming to Windows 11. I'm excited to announce GoodNotes, one of the most loved note-taking apps in the world today, is coming soon on Windows. And our friends at GoodNotes have made it even better on Surface. I'm sure many of you spend a lot of time on video calls to stay connected. We knew we had to get 3 critical parts perfectly dialed in for you on Pro 9. The front-facing camera is centered so you're not looking off to the side. The field of view is widened and designed at the perfect angle so you and others are always in view. We designed the microphones and speakers to face directly towards you by carefully creating openings through the display. As a result, you get fully immersed in stereo sound and your voice sounds like you. We're excited about Pro 9 and what you can create with it. But we knew we had to push it even further. And today, we're introducing Surface Pro 9 with 5G. Built on the new Microsoft SQ3 processor, powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon. This device has incredible power, super fast 5G connectivity, and up to 19 hours of battery life. With entirely new processing capabilities, we're going to show you some incredible video call experiences you will only get on your Surface Pro 9 with 5G.
In the 90s, GPUs ignited a whole new era of gaming and graphics design. But today, neural processing units, or NPUs, are igniting magical and powerful AI models that will light up your creativity, supercharge your productivity, and transform how you connect with people in your life. The new Surface Pro 9 with 5G has the most powerful NPU ever built for Windows, and it gives Azure Cloud a more capable AI teammate. It's nimble, fast, and efficient. The Pro 9 sits at the forefront of an entirely new class of device for Windows. It can do more than 15 trillion calculations per second with just a few watts of power. Let me show you. All that computational power drives Surface Pro 9 and Windows Studio Effects. This combination is truly one of the most powerful audio-video technologies available in a computer. Until now, nobody has pulled together the power of these features all in one place ever before. But you have to experience what this means. So, let's lose the production cameras and we're going to switch to the Pro 9 camera. The image produced by this new camera is absolutely beautiful, and the new portrait blur emulates the wide aperture optical effect of a professional DSLR camera. I often move around the room while I'm on video calls. Sometimes it's just me, sometimes I have friends or family, or even colleagues with me. With auto framing built right in, the burden of trying to stay in the shot is now no more. And what's even cooler, we all know that as a camera zooms in, you would typically become blurry. Well, we solved this problem using the NPU. As the camera zooms in, we simultaneously depixel the image using our innovative super resolution algorithm right in the auto frame, helping your pictures maintain its sharpness and quality whether you're near or far. And this is an industry first. Let me call one of my colleagues who will show you how Windows Studio Effects helps you stay connected no matter the environment. Hey, Oyen.
Hey, Stevie. I'm outside here on campus, connecting with you remotely on 5G using my Surface Pro 9. You may have heard the expression, we speak with our eyes. And in this world, when most of your work gets done on video calls, connecting is more important than ever. With the latest generation of our pioneering eye contact feature, we can stay engaged, maintaining natural eye-to-eye contact. Surface is still the only PC that takes it to this level. Believe it or not, this whole time I've been talking in this busy cafe. You can see it when I turn off portrait blur. With a powerful NPU, we can run large models efficiently so you can be heard better. I'm sure you haven't been able to hear any of this because I've been running the new NPU-based voice focus, and there's actually a gardener who's decided that this is the right time to blow leaves, you should hear how it really sounds. Hold on. It's more difficult to hear me, right? So let me turn this back on. Seriously, in almost any noisy situation, whether there's a leaf blower in the background or someone clapping directly into the microphone, voice focus helps you be heard no matter what. Back to you, Stevie.
They wouldn't let me bring my leaf blower in here, so I brought my hairdryer instead. And with voice focus turned on, can't hear it. Thanks, Oyen. Windows Studio Effects, because of its sophistication, requires many trillions of operations per second. But what's mind-boggling is the Surface Pro 9 with 5G. All these effects run concurrently and continuously in real time on each video frame while consuming just a few watts of power. On a standard computer, even with the most powerful processors, we would barely be able to run just one of these effects, let alone all of them at the same time. This combination of experiences, the sheer amount of computing and efficiency is unprecedented. It's built right into Windows, and with just a click of a button, you can use it on any of your favorite video or audio apps or even on the web. And all this magic happens while leaving your CPU and GPU unburdened so your application tasks can run smoother and faster. But this is just the beginning. You see, these AI-powered experiences, they will continue to demand more from our computers, from requiring trillions of operations per second to the most magical experiences that can really only run in the cloud, requiring quadrillions of operations per second. And when you combine the local processing capability of your Windows PC with the compute power of Azure working as a single unit, that's when the magic happens. This unifying compute landscape will give rise to a whole new set of experiences and new applications that will help you imagine, it'll help you create, and it'll help you design like never before.
Yeah, you just saw what it means when your Windows PC has the power of rich, local AI capabilities. Now hold that idea. We're going to come back to it in just a minute. But first, I want to talk to you about one more product. The new Surface Studio 2 Plus. And this is the ultimate creator's canvas, and it is so powerful. We've redesigned it with the Intel i7 quad-core processor, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060. It is 5 times more powerful than the original Surface Studio. It's got 3 Thunderbolt ports, one of the things that everyone had asked for, all creators are pushing us for. I mean, I love it. I love everything about this device. Here's the thing I love about it most. 13.5 million pixels, so they light up for you. They just light up for you. 4K resolution. There's over 1 billion colors. The color depth is a DCI-P3 for those of you who are fans. New Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. The sound is gorgeous, but ultimately, just look at this. How simple it is. One finger, bring it towards you. Something you just fall in love with, that I fall in love with. This floating sheet of pixels. Find your perfect angle with the zero gravity hinge. And then Windows 11 just knows. Like if you just watch, if you bring it from over here, just look at the taskbar. As I lower it, you'll see it expand. And when it does that, it's because Windows is adapting to you. But then when I start launching apps, watch how it comes to life. So I'll open my Twitter page. I'm just gonna grab it, use the windowing mechanism here. You see it come in the top left corner. I'm gonna open Instagram, bring on Media Player, and then I'm gonna have just Bing 4 14-inch displays, 4 apps at once, and only here with this screen with Windows on the new Surface Studio. Okay, I want to take you back for a minute to the power of AI. Stevie showed you how that comes to life locally on your PC. But I want to show you the power of the cloud, power of cloud-based AI, and what it means expressed through an application. We get asked a lot, like, can I explain it? All right. I want to introduce you a new product called Microsoft Designer. This is a very cool product. It's a new graphic design app in Microsoft 365. It is powered by best-in-class AI, including DALL-E 2. Now, it's going to help you bring your most creative visions to life in entirely new ways. Take a look. Now, Designer helps you create from your own content or ideas and makes it easy to design social media posts, important for me, invitations, and much more, and fast. Right? It automatically helps you get a variety of unique images and designs that are generated just for you. Nobody else, just you. Okay, the new integration with iCloud in the Photos app, it's a big deal, pumped about it. And to share my gratitude with all of you, I'm uploading an image, the original Surface prototype. Now, Designer has suggested potential layouts I can choose from, and I'm gonna use DALL-E. We built this in to create a very specific image for you. You can do this yourself. You can see that DALL-E's working now, searching, generating an image based on the exact description that I type. I mean, it's really cool, it's really cool. You can customize, get exactly what you want with words, including color, font, or size options. Now, Designer does the heavy lifting for you here, creates a custom image based on your idea. Our AI-powered design ideas, this feature is there and ready to help you polish the design with just a single click. Okay, now I can post directly from Designer to my LinkedIn or Instagram account, which is super cool. I love the hashtag recommendations too. Now, I'm excited to share this post with you. Let me just share it really quick. Awesome. The integration of Microsoft AI and DALL-E 2 in our new Microsoft Designer app is an amazing example of AI assistance blurring the lines between the platform, the device, and the cloud, all so you can express yourself even better. It saves time, improves creative outcomes, regardless of your level of expertise. It's not like mine. We don't believe technology of this type at any single point should be limited to a single app. That's why we're also bringing these Microsoft Creator tools, including DALL-E 2 integration, into Bing and Edge with the new Bing Image Creator. Now, you can use your words, not just to search, but to create. This is coming soon. At Microsoft, we recognize the most magical experiences happen at the intersection where people, technology, and devices seamlessly connect. There's never been a better time to experience the possibilities of what you saw today than right now. What you just saw with Stevie and Oyen was rich AI on the edge, on the device itself. And with DALL-E in Designer and in Edge, we show you AI in the cloud in service to you. And when we talk about, this is when we talk about the Windows PC and Azure becoming teammates, coming together as one, enabling you to take your ideas and creativity from your mind and heart into the world. Now, Satya will connect you to more of this in just a few moments at Ignite today. I want you to make sure you check it out. The next wave of computing is here right now, and we've created it for you.
All right. Well, that was a short and sweet presentation. I was really expecting a little bit more. That was kind of an abrupt ending, Nate.
I know. I didn't think we were done, but here we
I
are.
didn't either. Here we are. I was like busy slurping a big, big gulp of coffee. So anyway, I see that everyone in the chat has been very responsive throughout, but let's go over what Microsoft just unveiled. And it feels like a lot of different things and kind of all over the place. So I'm going to try to organize all of this by starting with the hardware, right?
Yep.
We've got a new Surface Pro 9 as we expected, but the confusing thing here is that it's the Surface Pro 9 with either Intel CPUs or the Snapdragon, the ARM-based CPU, right?
Which
And
was
then,
previously the Surface Pro X, right?
yes, right. So it's basically combining the two lines because there's not really a new Surface Pro X for a while. It's
Right.
been sort of getting
Couple years, I
generational or
think, yeah.
incremental. Yeah, exactly. Upgrades. But this time we got merging the two. And then you pick your CPUs. And then I don't know if anyone's going to pick the ARM-based one, but okay.
I guess
And-
anybody who wants 5G might, but
the
yeah.
fact, and I said this in the chat just now, I was like, wow, I was not expecting to hear the first 5G Surface Pro as a brag in the year 2022.
but
We were
here we
like,
are.
here we are. I guess that's better than, you know, jumping the gun. But there's a lot of details where we're lacking here, like what type of 5G, and that sort of stuff. But we'll get into that later because this device also has some like cloud-based processing features that we want to talk about.
Yep.
There's also the new Surface Laptop 5, which is
I
one of the.
believe-
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that most of the people in the chat were calling it the.
We're calling it the, and you got cut off, or did I get cut off? Okay, so Nate, it got cut off before he was able to tell me what people in chat were calling the Surface Laptop 5. So if y'all want to tell me in the chat what you were calling the Surface Laptop 5, that would be great. I know that there's a new color option, Sage. The design, a lot of people were hating on the design when it was first being shown off. And I don't know, I mean, I've loved the Surface Laptop series for its design for a very long time now. It's just, I don't really, I mean, I understand they haven't changed it very much in the last 5 years. So I think people are saying, yeah, green is the news. Green is the word. And you know what? To match the color green, the sage color option that they brought this year, they're also saying that the Surface Laptop 5 is the first carbon aware laptop. And it's an OS that can understand sort of when there is more energy on your grid that's green, so like solar-based power or wind-based, that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing, sorry, we're dealing with some technical difficulties right now. Please bear with me. Julio, what were you saying? Okay, we are waiting on Nate Ingram, my co-host, to rejoin the stream. In the meantime, I'm gonna look at the chat, talk to y'all directly. Although I am seeing some lag in terms of what I'm saying versus what's reflecting in the chat. So I don't know if like our stream or the chat itself is lagging. But anyway, y'all hate bezels. Y'all are very excited for Surface Laptop Studio, which we did see a new one, the Surface Laptop Studio 2 Plus. Oh no, not this Laptop Studio, the Surface Studio 2 Plus. The Laptop Studio is the funny, strange hinge mechanism one. So there you go. But we did see a Studio 2 Plus, which is more like the big all-in-one that sits on your desk that is, you know, for people who do a lot of design work and stuff. A lot of people are saying, like, for example, Surface Phone and gosh, the chat is moving very fast. Surface Phone sets like, oh, no Surface Neo or Duo. Yeah, first of all, I think we have to say RIP Neo because I don't think it's ever coming. I have an update on my co-host whose internet has fully gone out. So I don't believe he will be rejoining us anytime soon. I think, Julio, this is your time to shine if you want to join, but you let me know. I can. Look, okay, so I'm going to invite our live stream producer, Julio, to be my co-host right now. I don't know if Julio wants to show your face or you just want to be a voice in the cog. What do you want to do, Julio?
I'll be Spider-Man then.
Okay, so Julio's going to be Spider. It's my mystery guest, Spidey Spy. Welcome to the Engadget live stream post show of Microsoft. Julio, can people hear you?
Yeah, they can.
So say hi, everybody. This is Julio Barrientos, who's our live stream producer of anything really that we live stream. And he's very familiar with a lot of the tech stuff now, partly because of his job as a live stream show producer. He uses all these gadgets, but also he's covered the stuff with us for so long now. It's basically a tech reporter. Julio, tell people about your rig. Tell people what you use.
Hi everyone. My name is Julio, and I work behind the scenes. I am not Spider-Man. Just want to clear that out. But my rig, I mostly use Windows, right? And obviously we have Macs for work, but when it comes to production, everything is Windows. So I was looking at trying to keep up with the keynote, and the one thing that really stuck out for me, I don't know if you want to bring it up, is the microphone when they were doing the test with the blow dryer and the leaf blower.
Yes.
That technology has been around for quite a bit, especially in Discord, using your NVIDIA graphics card and all that, right? So what's your take on this? Do you think this is actually something that Microsoft should be kind of showing off like they are now, or it's kind of like,
that's my main sense of the overall the whole live stream, right? Like you have, I mean, the keynote that they were announcing things that seemed old and pat by now, right? Like the 5G thing, this feature that's, like you said, been on Discord, but also been on Google's Nest speakers. It's been on so many things. I took the exact same demo where Google was like, "Oh yeah, keep talking," and then they blew a hairdryer not in my face, but sort of in my face, and they're like, "Oh, we can still hear you." So, and that was like before the pandemic, so at least 3 years ago now. So I mean, that along with the fact that like I'm always very suspicious of these like very pre-recorded demos. I don't even believe that it works as advertised, leads me to just not be very excited. I'm tempering any of my enthusiasm here. I mean, I think the demo was impressive, but only if it really behaves like this. And yeah, I mean, first of all, I just want to say that Julio, everybody is very excited that this is your time to shine. Everybody's very like, Edmund Abdunur was like, "This is your time, Julio." I think D-Man was also very excited to see you too. But yeah, so you know your stuff. You're firmly like, you use Windows and heavy duty Windows machines to like on the daily to run your job. So, and you said that the audio stuff stood out to you. I'm curious if like stuff like the Studio 2 Plus, that sort of stuff, is that like a high-end machine that you would use, or is that you think more for someone who's visual graphics like focused?
for what I do, visual graphics and just having a powerful GPU at this point, you know, with the 4090s being so big and so powerful, like you kind of need to have that power, especially for the stuff that I do. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the what they showed today looked great. But I'm not. First of all, I'm not a big fan of like touch screens or any of that sort, to be honest. But I want to touch on the camera. Just a quick note: the camera. You know, the fact that it can kind of follow you and have you center. There's a software, I forgot what it's called, but the software does that, right? It kind of tracks you, and every time I see someone use it, it's been buggy. It hasn't been like the best experience, especially for someone on my end that's kind of, you know, working the videos behind the scenes, framing people and all the fun stuff. So I'm not saying that their software will be buggy, Microsoft's, but I'm saying that the technology, I don't know if is there. And if it is it going to look organic? Is it going to look kind of like, it just feels awkward. I'm assuming you can disable it too, right? So
you probably could. I think you're referring to something like Apple's Center Stage on iOS and iPadOS, where they keep your face in frame. And again, Google also has a version of it on its Nest Hub Max smart display for calls. And I did make the connection before that. Yeah, this is basically the AI version of trying to do your job, which is to keep people centered in the frame and that sort of thing. So it's like you have a more relevant point of view here. I will say it sounds like Nate got his internet back.
All right, I can bring him in right meow.
We will bring him right now, but in the meantime, I also want to shout out some comments in the chat. X7 said Microsoft Surface Air Blower. That is a product that I would love for them to make. A lot of people were commenting on the Panos vibe. They're like, is this a yoga video? Is it what? I enjoy the Panos vibe. I think Panos has a calmness to him that a lot of people in the tech space don't necessarily have. Like, you know, we all know Elon Musk gets high, but he doesn't give the same like chill ass vibes. Anyway, I will say though, I'm not going to vouch for anyone's characters on this stream because I don't know Panos in person. I just think that there is a vibe coming through the presentation. Nate, is your internet back?
I think so. That was unexpected. Did I miss anything good here?
Oh,
I mean, you're talking about vibes.
Debut
so.
as an Engadget talking
nice.
head. You missed it. Julio shared his expertise with us as like
Nice.
a live stream producer, a person who's like using heavy duty Windows machines to do his
Yep.
job. It was nice to see. But no, you got cut off when you were telling us what people in the chat were calling the Surface Laptop 5. What was it?
Oh yeah, the Surface Laptop 4S. The implication of it being a very like iterative thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
that was worth the wait.
No.
I'm like,
It would have been fine in the moment, but here we are.
Here we are. So yeah, the Surface Laptop 5 or 4S, you're absolutely right. There doesn't seem to be a lot of like big upgrades other than that
No.
Carbon Aware OS that I was talking about right when you got cut off,
Yeah.
and the Sage color.
I mean, it looks great, and I've always liked those just as like a straight up like easy to buy, easy to use Windows device. You don't have to worry about it too much. But I can say, does it have 12th gen processors? I can't remember.
I believe so.
Yeah,
if
so
you
like
slap someone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a fine iterative update for the kind of it's it's like when Apple does like a MacBook Air update. Like, how exciting is that really? Like, it's not usually, but like it's just the kind of stuff you have to do to like keep up with the Joneses, so to speak.
Yeah. Devoured by a Bunny says, I was almost tempted to upgrade to Windows 11, but there's no iMessage, so I don't care. And Jonathan Anderson also says, microphone with the noise cancellation was really cool. I know. The demo seemed cool, but I don't know how effective it'll be in real life. And also, like Julio pointed out, this is a feature that a lot of other companies, not just hardware makers, even chat makers like Discord have provided for a while now. But back to what Devoured by Bunny said, no iMessage. One of the biggest pieces of news to me anyway, that got me shook, was that there's Apple apps now. You can do Apple Music on, was it Xbox and also some of these Windows machines?
So right now, yeah, Apple Music came out for Xbox today. Apple TV was already there for Xbox, and I believe they said that both of those apps are going to come to the Windows Store early next year. So they're not out yet, but they're coming. And then the iCloud photo integration, I don't recall getting a date for that either, but I think it's going to be sooner. I think that's like a imminent thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's nice to see like a combination or like just all these walls sort of not crumbling down, but sort of, I don't know.
There's some doors in the walls.
Doors. That's nice. You know what they have in the walls? They have windows in the walls.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway.
Crushing it.
Well,
Also, I'd like to point out for everybody who's watching that Cherlynn's wearing 2 watches today.
yes. How dare you? This is oh heavens.
Is that the Ultra? Are you still wearing the Ultra?
I am still wearing the Ultra. I switched out the strap for
a much cuter,
more regular looking one. But I don't know how long I'm going to keep wearing the Ultra though, because it is getting in the way of my workouts. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah, that's a total side
it's a total tangent, but this is a good jumping off point to tell everyone that's watching right now, hey, if you enjoy us just chatting with you directly and answering your questions about anything about tech, make sure you come back on Thursday mornings at about 10 a.m. Eastern for the Engadget podcast live stream. That's when me and my co-host Devendra Hardwar, who's our senior editor, we record the Engadget podcast, but live. And so we have segment breaks where we can talk to the audience about the topics of the week. This week is almost definitely going to be Microsoft again, but other stuff as well. We had Meta, Facebook's Meta Connect event yesterday. There's plenty of other news happening the rest of this week that we can't talk about exactly right now, but
our colleague Sam has tried a lot of devices. He's at Microsoft right now trying the new hardware, and he had a hands-on yesterday about the new Oculus Quest Pro, or Meta Quest Pro, excuse me.
Yes, RIP. But yeah, so if you want to, if we don't get to your questions today, you can always come back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, here on the Engadget YouTube channel, and join us on the Engadget podcast live stream. But back to the Microsoft post show.
Yeah. I was just going to say about the iCloud photo thing. I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, I saw someone in chat mention that, like, why would you use Windows if you have an iPhone? But I think like the truth of the matter is like there's a lot more iPhones out there than there are Macs.
Yeah.
So like there's going to be plenty of people who have a Windows machine and use an iPhone, and being able to just like have your photo library sync there is going to be like a pretty nice feature.
I mean, I think so too. For me, okay, so I have
you're jumping across like 1,000 computers, so
I know.
Anyway.
But I have a confession. Like, one of the things that I do is that like I main a PC. I don't enjoy the MacBook is like my work computer, right? That's what the office sent me.
Yeah.
And I don't really enjoy putting my personal stuff on there. Like if I have iCloud photo library synced to a work laptop, I'm just like, all the
Yeah,
shady
I don't do
photos
that.
and everything. No, right? So I
Nope.
don't do that. And then people are always like, why can't you use iMessage on a laptop? I'm like, because I don't want to sync my phone to the
Yeah,
work
yeah.
laptop. Yeah, who knows what people are gonna text me? Yeah, I got all kinds of shit. But so I don't use that feature. But like, yeah, if it come and okay, so the confession I'm gonna make is that like since I've been using the iPhone 14 Pro as more of my main driver than my Pixel, I've been hanging out with friends and we go karaoke things, like smaller controlled karaoke events, and we take videos of each other. Do you know how amazing AirDrop is? Like, look.
Oh yeah, AirDrop's very good.
I can't even. I'm at the point where like I'm like, oh well, I've been making everyone in my gym AirDrop each other shit. We're just like standing around in the gym. We're all like AirDrop, 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 and then like I remember when I shot maybe like one photo on a Pixel. I'm like,
Now it's stuck here.
how do I send this? Email, Telegram, everything gets compressed.
Yeah.
Gets, like, I gotta wait till I get to a Wi-Fi connection.
Upload it to Google Photos and then share the Google Photos link.
Right. Like I can do nearby share if someone else had a Pixel or a Samsung, but like it's just not baked in as nicely. It doesn't seem like it's as seamless, even though it technically is. Like technically, I think that all the parts are there for the Android side of the thing, but people aren't as aware of it or just don't really use that much. Whereas AirDrop is just ridiculous. I sat at a bar again with like my gym friends. We had like a celebration thing. I sat there and there was a big group. I was like sending photos to a person next to me, but someone else's phone someone else that I knew their phone shot, so I sent them pictures of me and my friends too. It's like it's anyway.
I was at a concert and I shot a video. I was at Carly Rae Jepsen, who's awesome live, by the way.
Oh.
And I had a weird idea to AirDrop a random video from the show to like anyone who had their phone like open.
Nice.
You know, just to mess with people. But yeah.
So anyway, back to Microsoft. Sorry for the Apple deviation, but it is kind of related, right? Because now we have Apple integration in the world of Windows, which you are right. I am now kind of predominantly an Apple user, but I still am a PC person. And a lot of people don't want to give up their workflow just to accommodate their phones. And Mac OS is quite different from Windows. So I also appreciate that Nate, you are an Apple first person when it comes to desktop, and then Chrome OS. Because you just gotta be this weird.
Face, can you?
Just have to be so weird.
Yep.
And then Windows is really the platform you're least familiar with. After watching this keynote though, like what is your takeaway on how some of these new features look? Like, is Microsoft late to the game for you? Is there anything on Windows that was maybe announced today or just in general that you are envious of?
I wouldn't say envious of necessarily, but I think that Windows literally the arrangement system of like how to manage your stuff on Windows, like your apps in Windows, which I keep saying this, I think that's a lot better, especially on a touch perspective. Like Apple is doing Stage Manager, and there's been a lot of talk about how that's not fully baked yet. I can vouch for that. I haven't used it on a Mac yet, but I've used it on my iPad, and it's just not quite ready. So yeah, like I think that they've got that down. And like I love the Surface Studio hardware. Like even though they did not update, or even though there's like some talks about it being on like 11th gen processors, which is kind of busted, I would say for sure that's a concern. But like as a piece of hardware, it's just super cool. Yeah, I just love it. I remember even from day one, like Devendra had a review unit of the one from, I guess the first one was like 2018 probably, in the office, and I was always very envious, like wanting to play around with that. But yeah, like Windows. So good. Yeah, like when I used Windows, I reviewed the Surface Go last year, and so that gave me some time to spend with Windows. And like, you know, it's so ubiquitous at this point that like, yeah, just like it's not hard to use. So much of what I do is in the browser that like it's fine.
Yeah. Same.
You know, I find that like for me, it's mostly like little optimizations of apps that I miss. Like I'm so used to using certain things on the Mac. Like I use this Notes app Bear that syncs across all my devices. It's really nice. I could use something else, but I don't want to switch,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm sure most Windows users probably have the same situation where like there's a lot of little particular things that I love that they love on their end that they don't want to give up if they switch to a Mac. So for me, it's not like one is really like significantly better than the other. They're just like a little different.
Yeah, they have different iterations of the same thing. Like I was using Keep as my note-taking thing for the longest time, and then now I'm slowly making a slow transition to Notes. I don't really like Notes because I have Keep everywhere still, right? I still have Keep on everything, so I just installed the Keep app on my iPhones. But
yeah, why not?
back a little bit to Microsoft some more. Ruin Dig in the chat rightly raised this question. So the one thing that I was like, oh, okay, well, this seems cool on the Microsoft side of things was the Bing image generator. First of all, Bing is not a word I want to hear. I'm just like, all right, thanks. But the image generator thing, right? Like we saw that Dolly integration that they're bringing to some of their cloud-based services, I believe. But we sort of saw a preview, like a little tasty little snippet of what you could do with this baked into the search engine, the Bing search engine. You could be like, sometimes if you're looking for a specific image and you don't really know what is like who painted it or like but you know what it sort of looks like, you can be like dog in spaceship hovering in space but eating a pizza. Like you can do that, and then not only could it just be searching for that for you, but it could also generate art for you. What do you, I think you were paying a bit more attention than I was when Microsoft was talking about Dolly. Can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, they are baking it into some of their products, as you mentioned. I'm trying to find my window that had the details. Sorry, bear with me.
While you do that, I want to say clientele was like, you can simply text a picture to the person that you want. You all make things too complicated for no reason. Listen, I am a complicated person. But no, it's also, when you text a picture, you're doing it over what, MMS? If you're on Android, because not everybody's on RCS yet, I don't believe. And also that it just feels so weird. The Messages app is, anyway, back to.
Yeah, so like you said, you can search, but also, you know, if you put in a description, like you said, dog eating pizza in space or whatever, it'll use Dolly to generate that art, and you can pull it into. So like they showed it off with this app, Microsoft Designer. It's like a light graphic design offering, similar to Canva. A lot of people in chat mentioned that, and I think that's a fair comparison. Adobe bought Canva recently, so obviously there's some interest in that product there for sure. So yeah, you can search your photos, you can search what's on your computer, and then it'll also generate if you want to.
That's cool.
So like it's pretty cool, and like I am of two minds about this AI art. Like I've seen some artists who do visual art making some really cool stuff with it, actually, and they seem to be supportive of it. On the other hand, I'm also seeing plenty of artists who are like, this is kind of bull, because it uses like Dolly and all these AI image generators use like the existing like corpus of artwork that human beings have made to pull into its own algorithms to make something new. And like it can be really interesting and fun, but it also, I can see how if I was somebody who like made visual art for a living, that it would be concerning as well.
I almost also like, I'm pretty sure they're not like using the art that they generate back into their own pool of like data that they use, right? So like, imagine like I went like full, like not Black Mirror, but full maybe like Brown Mirror scenario where like Dolly just like takes in, like it's pulling from like already existing pieces of art, right? And then the more it spits out, the more it takes in its own artwork again, and then we just make Dolly loop this little whirlpool of like
eventually
mishmashed faces, and then we get just piles of crap, and that's why it's Brown Mirror.
Cute. No, you're right. I mean, like it's such a new thing that, you know, it's one of those like we'll have to wait and see. Like right now it's all about the potential, and like I have a lot of friends who just like use it for fun weird shit to like put on Twitter, sending group messages, and it's enjoyable, but like long term, there's going to be some questions about how it can be used without it being like a complete ripoff of like stuff that human beings make. I mean, like you think about it and apply the same like logic to like music. Can you imagine like AI generated music that like just listens to like your Spotify catalog and starts like writing horrible songs? Like, I don't know. It can get weird. No, not your library's horrible, but like watering it down through like AI interpretations over time. Like, not great.
Yeah, I agree. I want to take a moment here to address some of the comments in chat. I know we're kind of again a little bit all over the place. We haven't even talked about the new audio doc and the presenter plus things yet, and we will get to it. But I do want to let y'all know, chat, that we are watching. It's just there's a lot of you today, which I love, and but we can't get to all of your comments or questions, and we're gonna do our best. So this is a break for me to kind of look at y'all. Clientele, I want to point out, they said they didn't mean to come off so harsh. I absolutely did not mean to read your comment so harsh either. So hey, thank you for leaving a nice comment. We got Mark Dell is on fire today with a lot of like funny idea like comments.
You've
I
got
guess.
ideas.
Oh my gosh, but this is one thing I wanted to point out is that the chat has been calling for the return of the Julio. Can we and Julio insisted he wasn't Spider-Man when he joined us. Julio, do you want to like tell us about this picture right now, Julio? Can people hear you?
Just a meme now going on in our internal Slack. So yeah, this is me being
I haven't
Spider-Man.
seen it before. It's pretty good.
In case y'all have never seen Julio's face, there it is on the body of Spider-Man, because he absolutely is not Spider-Man. That's what
That we know of.
That we know of. He might be Batman. But no, we enjoyed having Julio on. We are not kicking him out. Someone was very angry. They were like, I think it was Eric, was like, how dare you kick Julio out? I was like, no, he's not kicked out. Julio can always talk, right, Julio? He
Do I have permission?
Oh, dang.
I think we just said yes.
You no permission needed. First of all, Julio, you talk whenever you want. Okay, we're going to go back into the chat. I think a lot of questions about the SQ3 processor. I believe the ARM-based processor that's on the Surface Pro 9, or in the past was Surface Pro X, but whatever. And when I said a lot of questions, I meant like one person, Mr. Echo, has been asking about it. I mean, in general, Qualcomm's chips have, for some reason, made a lot of these Snapdragon laptops pretty expensive. And they've custom designed the SQ1, 2, and 3 with Microsoft. So I'm pretty sure because of the extra like design work or extra cooperation they had to do, like there's some extra price that went into the device. I did think the Surface Pro X was ridiculously priced for what it was, like $1,000 Surface Pro that didn't even really like work that well. Yeah. I am very skeptical of some of these like things that they said would work very well. Like they were talking about that background focus, defocus sort of feature for camera for video calls, and I was like, yeah, if you're doing that on the ARM-based processor, I feel like it's gonna suffer because Windows on ARM is already so janky. And then they were like, no, it's all cloud-based processing. So I'm like, all right, we'll have to see.
Yeah, this is very much a like wait till the review kind of situation.
Yeah, and it'll be a tricky review process, right? Because we've got technically the Surface Pro 9 is one device, but it's actually two.
Yeah, and you can't really, I mean, I think they're both going to need their own like evaluation and scoring and you know, because yeah, different price, $300 more, someone mentioned. Mr. Echo.
Yeah, that's, I mean, great trippy name. And Buddy 305 Love also replied saying it's because of 5G. Things tend to cost more when you add cell service to it. Yeah. I mean, you know, there's just a lot of things at play that we wouldn't really know. It's a lot of background stuff. Licensing could be part of it too. Rajat says, while a pretty decent event, admin Abdul Nur said that they think the issue here is that Microsoft integrated Apple services, Samsung integrated Windows services, Apple didn't integrate anything. I mean, I would say that like I think Apple still has to work with them on a level to allow their apps to be on those platforms, but you're right that like Apple doesn't seem to be, it's not like a two-way street. Apple's not like, here Microsoft, but like the only concession I've seen Apple make recently is where they're like, here's a web link for FaceTime calls that you can click on and dial into a call for FaceTime call from any browser. So you don't necessarily have to be on a MacBook to be part of a FaceTime call anymore, which is, you know, nice. Something. Yeah, it's a one thing. And then Amar Kalburgi is like, hopefully Apple gets the message. Haha. This is when we were talking about RCS. I can't like Google. I love you, Google, but y'all chill. Stop throwing shade. It's not a good look in 2022, although I will also throw a lot of shade. So, okay, that's a lot of the messages from back then, and I can't go that far back anymore, so I'm going to jump all the way down to...
Go forward.
Once. Yeah, Dennis So is like, how well is the Surface Pro X working at this point anyways? Would that be a good gauge of upcoming stuff?
Is
Yeah, I
SQ
mean,
is SQ3 as powerful as Apple Silicon chips?
no.
No.
Straight up, no.
Yeah.
Apple's M1, M2 silicon, like, it's not just the hardware of the chips, right? It's the fact that Rosetta, which is that emulator layer that's converting stuff from like Intel's x64 architecture over onto like ARM-based architecture for the programs to work. Rosetta just works better than whatever the shit Microsoft calls it.
Right. Yeah. It just, I hate to say it, it does work super well. Like I never ever think about whether or not an app is compatible. I just do my thing.
Yeah. It's you don't think about it. You don't think that like there's an app you can't run, perhaps, or
Right.
And then part of it is because Apple has been so successful at making its ecosystem so closed off, right? So it's got more control. This is the metaphor I always make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not always. This is the first time I'm making it publicly anywhere. But like I always say this about Singapore. People are always like, Singapore is so safe. Singapore is so neat and organized and well controlled. Yeah, it's because we're like tiny. We're like about like slightly bigger than Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration, but we're small. So it's easy to control a small thing. Like there's nowhere to run if you commit a crime. The government could find you in 2 hours. There's truly nowhere to run unless you go across an international border. So in the same way for Apple, it's easy to control a lot of things because they just close everything off. Like it's a lot easier. Whereas like with Android and Microsoft Windows stuff, there's just
runs on 1,000 different pieces of hardware, and
yeah, it's the wilderness. It's like if someone committed a crime and ran into the wilderness, how are you gonna find them? You know, it's living off the grid. Anyway, here's my. I don't know why I'm so ranty today, but here you go.
Well, you did have to get up earlier than usual.
No, the problem is that I did get up in time, and Mark was throwing shade at me for talking too much about my workouts, which is true, and I'm kidding. I was gonna go to a workout. I decided to skip the workout. I ended up, so that I would be on time for this thing, and I ended up oversleeping. I ended up getting home, waking up at the same time I would have got home.
Mark has a great one, a new tourist slogan: Singapore, there's nowhere to run.
I mean, you can run to Malaysia, but you have to swim, because we're an island. But
to bring it back, I'm like, do you think there's any chance that Microsoft will ever do its own silicon? Like Google's making its own, and obviously in a much smaller quantity, right? They're only powering like the Pixel devices aren't huge sellers.
Right.
Apple's doing it, and with a lot of success over the years. They took their time before bringing it to Macs, but obviously they were doing it at scale for iPhones, which again, there's a lot more iPhones than Macs out there. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like Microsoft's core strength, but they're so big that like there's no reason they couldn't. I feel like
I wouldn't be surprised if we heard about that maybe 2 years down the road. But for now, I mean, if you consider the SQ1, SQ2, SQ3 to be custom silicon by Microsoft, which technically is like it's Qualcomm,
right? But they're built to Microsoft specs,
right? Exactly, exactly. So I mean, if you consider that, then they've already been making it, but you know, the success level is unclear because there's so much software tied up into that.
Right. I guess it's less about the design of the chips and more about like you said, they've got to run it on so much stuff. It's got to work across so much older software, et cetera, that like, yeah, they're just kind of in a tough spot there.
Yeah, Guillaume FR has a good question about the transistor space, the design distance for the SQ3. Is it 5 nm, 7 nm, 14 nm? I was like, oh crap, I can't remember. Sorry,
Where's Devinder when we need him?
I know. I believe no, Devinder wouldn't know because he doesn't give a crap about like ARM-based.
That's true.
It is not like the ARM-based laptops. I think this is like 10 and below. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure like by SQ2 we had already gotten to like below 10, but I have to double check. So let's get back to the actual news because we didn't talk about Presenter Plus and Audio Dock and also adaptive accessories. So just a little bit of news about the adaptive mouse and adaptive hub and that entire kit of modular mouse type of controllers that we covered actually back in May. Today, Microsoft also announced that those will be arriving in October 25th. No pricing information still, so I'm kind of bummed. But this was
they're gonna have to get that out soon.
They have to because October 25th. And
so you saw this stuff in the spring, right?
Yeah.
You went out to Microsoft and got to check it out.
Oh, that was we got the exclusive hands on. It was I met Panos over a virtual call. so it's not like I got the whole like sensation in
Oh,
person. But I know.
maybe next
But
time.
next time, the it was very cool. It's like a tiny little like square, right? Like a palm, like it's smaller than my palm. It's the mouse module itself, and it's like a completely flat. There's no curves or whatever. But if you want an arch to support your wrist or your palm, you can add like you can slide that modular mouse into like a fin that has an arch. Or you can 3D print your own parts, and there's a whole accessibility component because they also make these switches that you can basically turn into anything. It's a D-pad basically, right? But you can make a bigger controller that like if you push to one side, it'll hit the top three, I guess, buttons, and then like it just basically turns it into a two-way D-pad. So
you can even do a little joystick on it too, right?
Exactly, or something with like a Dyson fan blade looky thing where you can hook your limb in. So I mean, we've seen this, right? But we just didn't know when it'll be available and how much it costs. And now we know it'll be the 25th of October. Somehow I turned back into British date systems. But we don't know pricing. And it also said in select markets. So we don't even really know where it'll actually be available. But I want to get this thing. I really like that mouse. So we'll see. Presenter Plus. This is
not the most exciting thing I've ever heard of, but it's kind of a, it's a thing.
I will say, look, if Devendra were here, I have to channel the ghost of Devendra, channel the spirit of Devendra. He's not dead yet. Channel the spirit of Devendra and talk about this. Yet for all of us, Nate. Okay. Anyway. He would tell you that Microsoft's accessories are actually all pretty good, right? Like the ergonomic keyboard, I even think the accessory, the adaptive mouse is pretty cool. So I look at the Presenter Plus as an extension, an expansion of that portfolio of accessories. There was also the audio dock. I'm not as keyed in as to like what that does. I know the Presenter Plus is just basically very purpose built to make your like slideshows, your PowerPoint presentations easier to manipulate from afar. Basically, right? Like
the audio dock is weird but cool in that it's a speaker, like a full-on little speaker that has a whole bunch of ports in the back you can plug all your stuff into and use it as like I said, it's like a dock, but it's got, I think, multiple USB-A, USB-C. It's got a button on the top that launches Teams, which, okay. But that's fine. I mean, some people use it. There's also a microphone like toggle for like going on mute and whatnot. It works on Macs. It works with Google Meet. It works with Zoom. So, as with a lot of Microsoft things, it's pretty platform agnostic. All right, I take it back. It only has one USB-A port, but given how so many of us work from home with laptops that don't have a lot of ports necessarily, this thing like gives you a little bit of extra. It'll probably have better audio than your average laptop, and it's got there's a dedicated woofer and two tweeters. I'm not quite sure what the market is for it. It's $250, so it's not cheap, but
that's expensive for a little dock.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the speaker's like supposed to be like, it should give you like decent audio. I mean, probably better than decent, hopefully. And it also works as it's got microphones, so it works as like a multi-directional speakerphone, right? So if you do a lot of calls, then it could be a kind of little handy thing to have around. But yeah, it's a little bit pricey for like the average person is to like get to extend their situation. I could see it being like corporate Bob. Like you can see like if you have an office that uses a lot of Microsoft stuff, they might be like, let's hook this thing up with people who do a lot of voice calls and a lot of video calls or whatever.
It reminds me of the and this has been coming up in the podcast a lot lately, where we talk about like computers having dedicated speakers. Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I remember like you would turn it down, it would go click, and it would go, and like if your phone was getting a message, it would go.
Oh man, yes, I forgot about that sound.
What a trip. But yeah,
it's not quite as iconic as a modem, but it's up there.
Not that's definitely not as like recognizable instantly, but you sometimes still hear it in the wild. But no, it sounds like the audio dock does a little bit of that, as well as connecting things to each other. Guillaume asked, does the dock have Cortana or Amazon's assistant. I can't say that word because
it does not have any voice assistant capabilities.
It's not a smart speaker by that definition.
Yeah,
So
I think it basically.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Finish.
All right. It was basically, it's got like a USB-C cable. Plug it into your computer. You get improved audio, improved microphones, and then a bunch of ports. And so you can actually hook up, I think, 2 monitors to it. And so if you like want to extend your setup a bit, that's not a bad way to do it.
Small, right? Like it's
small. Yeah, it's like there's a picture. The picture of it that we got is it's got a keyboard near it. So my guess is it's probably like
small,
5-6 inches, maybe not even.
Yeah, it's like a toothbrush holder size. Anyway, yeah. I also want to point out that I was slightly distracted just now because Precision LLC in the chat said prices are on the website now, and I spent some time scouring the Microsoft website for the adaptive accessories pricing, and it's still not there. So Precision LLC, if you'll let me know what prices you're talking about, maybe you're talking about the studio or the laptop's pricing, but specifically for the adaptive accessories, I'm not seeing pricing. And then the other thing that was distracting me, now I forget what it was. Oh, well.
Was it King 554 saying when Panos speaks, it's like he's selling a car?
Does it sound, that was not that, but does it really, do you think it sounds like he's selling a car?
That's not much in my take on it, but.
I completely can't remember what it was that was distracting me. What was distracting me? Let's see. Nope. I thought I could do a Control V and paste and see whether I could figure out what it was that I was distracted by. It'll come back to me at some point.
Or not.
What else got announced? Because we haven't even covered the Studio 2 Plus really. So let's get to Cherlynn Reddy in the chat said you're disappointed with the Surface Studio.
Yep. Fair.
It's what, an incremental upgrade?
And it's very expensive. I think is it actually start at 4,300?
Yeah.
I believe that's what we wrote. And I was like, really? Because I remember when it first came out, the original one, it was not cheap, but you could get one, I feel like, for under $3,000 at least, which makes it perhaps a little bit more approachable. And again, I could be wrong though.
Yeah. No, you could. No, I think you're right. I think it was never that expensive. I think we're getting into like Surface whiteboard pricing right now. Yeah. Like the big, yeah. That's
I mean, like, again, like it's really, okay. So when it came out, it started at $3,000. So like a very expensive device. Yeah. But the screen is bonkers. It's super nice. Although that was, so it originally came out in 2016, end of 2016. So at the time, really nice screen, but I don't think they've changed it much, if at all, since then. And now, 5K monitors and so forth are a lot more common. I mean, I think, but the real issue is like, why 11th generation processors? Like, just why?
Yeah, and then being so expensive for offering you year-old components, it's a problem. That's not great. So we've covered the Surface Pro 9, the Surface Laptop 5, the Surface Studio 2 Plus, all kind of underwhelming, right? And we got
very iterative stuff. Like, again, like I said about the laptop, like you have sometimes I don't believe that every year you're going to like reinvent the laptop and make this like wildly different thing, right? Like that's not the point. Sometimes you have to do, just kind of like spec updates, tweak things a little bit. Like that's just part of being a hardware maker. And so I don't have like an issue with that per se. Like, I don't think you're going to reinvent the wheel every year. And like, it's kind of silly that people expect companies to do that. But, I think that the processor situation on the Studio 2 Plus is worth being like, well, is this actually worth the money? Like, I think the Surface Pro 9, at least the Intel version, will probably be a nice upgrade over the last year's. Same with the Laptop 5. Like, there's no reason probably not to buy them. Like, I don't think anything's gonna get worse, and they'll get a little bit better. So like, that's fine. But if you bought the hardware last year, you're good to go. That's fine.
Yeah. I think one thing to point out is that it's kind of upsetting or disappointing to see that the Surface Laptop 5 doesn't have like a discrete GPU option. Because it's right. I think there's a 15-inch model of one of those that there's room for it. Like, why not? Right. And
Right. You used to have the Surface Book, which I believe had a discrete GPU,
yeah,
right?
because that's bigger, but also the discrete GPU is only on the base of that device. Where like if you tar off the
Yep.
the tablet part of it is back to like a very basic machine. But that's slightly disappointed by the laptop 5, but not nothing that is like overwhelmingly bad, like a decision to use 11th generation processors in like a year where we're all seeing 12th gen processors all over the place. You can't even say that like it's a supply issue anymore because your other machines have, I mean, I'm sure they use a different class of the 12 generations, right? Probably like the higher end,
Sure.
the 8 or the U series, I forget. But I really don't understand that decision. Some other news from Microsoft we did talk about also, which is the designer app.
Yeah, that's where Dolly shows up.
Yeah, designer app. We talked about briefly. We talked about Carbon Aware. We talked about the video focus, the background noise cancellation, the audio dock, the presenter plus. If you take it on the whole, within 40 minutes, that was how long their event was.
Yeah, they really plowed through it.
They did plow through, and they did announce quite a lot of things, and yet we all kind of walked away going, huh. And not to say that like that's a bad thing, because I think we all felt the same about what the Apple and Google events this year as well, right? Like it's been somewhat of an underwhelming year for like tech hardware. Do you think?
Yeah. And I think that just goes back to like what I was saying about like not every year is going to be a barn burner. I think maybe the vibe though is like, did we need a full on like we're having an event for this stuff, right? This probably could have just been stuff that they dropped via press releases or whatever to some extent.
They kind of did that to us in the pre-event lead up to this, right? Because usually we get like some sort of briefing, and Microsoft actually was one of the best like the companies that did one of the best keynotes during the pandemic. They were the first to really nail that virtual keynote experience. And then now it's just kind of like, I guess you don't really have anything to show. I think what felt underwhelming and what made it partly feel so underwhelming is I think people were hoping to see a new Duo, a Neo at all, right? And so I'm talking about the Surface Duo, the dual screen like Android phone that Microsoft was making, and then also the Surface Neo, which the company has already said is not working on anymore. But people are still bummed. We're still bummed about it. And then talking about Apple and Google for a moment, I think the most exciting product this year, because now that we've closed the trifecta, I consider this the end, more or less, of tech hardware season.
Yeah, everyone's all set for the holidays. Like,
well, pause. Apple probably still has another thing coming up. Probably.
Oh, yeah, fair.
But that will be the very end, right? And
Yeah.
so we've got the three big companies, like you said, until the holiday season. We've got Apple, Google, and Microsoft. Of these three, of all the tech hardware we've seen in this season, Nate, what is the thing you're most excited about?
Man, yeah, I'm not even sure. I think that again, it's like it's all good stuff, assuming you are in the market for it and you need. So I have like an iPhone 12 Pro. It's totally fine, except that the battery's trash, which is making me think about upgrading. And I'm like, yeah, like the camera on the 14 Pro sounds great. Actually, I think the thing I'm most excited about, now I'm going to wind it back, is the camera on the Pixel 7 Pro.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. And I really want to get one and play around with it. Yeah, that's the one that sounds like the most like significant change.
Okay.
Because I really want good zoom on a phone camera. And it sounds like between, I think a 50 megapixel sensor on the air quotes telephoto lens of the Pixel 7 Pro sounds like, yeah, you can crop in there real tight and still have it be like a high resolution picture. And like, I'm looking forward to seeing how that performs for sure. Have you played with the 7 Pro?
Yeah. I can talk more about it more freely
Tomorrow.
I don't know when.
Okay.
Supposedly don't know.
Well, just because there's a podcast tomorrow, but
there is a podcast tomorrow. Maybe I can talk more freely about it tomorrow. Who knows? So come back tomorrow, y'all, at 10 a.m. Eastern to find out what I can and can't talk about. Hey, I'd love to.
What's the most exciting thing for you this?
You know what's weird? So Cedric Villani says in the chat that we're forgetting the Quest Pro. No, if you rewind a little bit, we were just talking about that already. This has been a week. And also everyone that's saying like, oh no, the Surface event is over. Yeah, you know, this is like YouTube. You can like drag the thing and go back a little bit. But if you want us to like answer your questions, you're gonna have to stick around now. But yeah, the product that most intrigued me, at least in the mainstream tech world, right? Because I also cover a lot of like fitness tech, accessibility tech, some beauty and fashion tech. of that world, you know what's funny? News wise, and not necessarily like actual use wise, I thought the Apple Watch Ultra was actually the most interesting thing.
That's a good shout too. I think it's too big,
Yeah.
but other than that, I mean, like, not it's too big for everyday wearing, but for the purposes it's built for, that's fine. Because it gives you, I mean, okay, I see that on your wrist and you're a small human, that it doesn't look as
Did you call me a small human?
you just are.
I'm not a small human. That's cute.
Okay, you're ripped and buff, but like you're also like short and yeah, nice. Jeans. Mark Sapala wants to know when Apple will announce new iPads, etc. Probably sometime this month. We don't know yet, but if I wouldn't be surprised if they had something on offer there. And then, like Cherlynn said, we'll really be wrapped for the holiday season. But
sorry,
no,
go back to your point about the Ultra.
Ultra is cool because it is not as expensive as I thought it would be. It's $800, which I believe is the same price that Apple was selling a Series 7 titanium model a year ago.
I think it's $50 more than the highest end titanium Series 8 right now.
They don't have a titanium Series 8.
I'm sorry, the
Stainless.
whichever, the stainless steel. Sorry, not titanium, the stainless steel one. So yeah, so probably the same price as a titanium Series 6 one.
Which is like that to me, given the massive, improvements in terms of like battery life, display size, capabilities. Like it's far more capable. I don't think it's for most people, like unless you're like, I really just want to have like this big honkin' like watch that lasts forever. But I'll be super curious to see the features from that start to trickle down to like the more mainstream watches, like especially battery life improvements are going to be.
Yeah. So that was to me the most intriguing, like news-wise thing. But I also forget that the Pixel Watch is also very, like, the only reason I think that I don't think of it as like October season news is because they announced it already during Google I/O in May. So I'm like, oh, I guess that counts. But I don't, I'm somehow managing to shoehorn myself into like more and more like just wearables and maybe more fitness tech stuff, because I'm handing off more of the like phone and laptop forward stuff to Sam, who's joined our team specifically to help with that stuff. And I have so much FOMO, like, well, right now they're getting the hands-ons, right? So stick around and make sure you come back to Engadget.com to get our hands-on impressions, and for the videos they will be delivering out of that event. Pray for them.
Yes.
Pray for us all. Come back also to Engadget.com this afternoon if you want to see some stuff. I can't say much, but y'all just keep checking Engadget.com today. There's a lot going on. Love to tease people. Oh my gosh.
I know. I saw someone complaining about NDAs in the chat, and I'm like, yep, fair enough.
Mark knows that embargoes are embargoed. And I do my best to if you've enjoyed this sort of casual conversation, come back for more tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern on the Engadget YouTube channel for the Engadget podcast live stream. Mark Sapolo says
Steam Deck
and the Apple Watch Ultra.
Just got one. It's super cool. Yep.
I thought the Cranky Crank, the Playdate was actually
that thing is super cool too, but like
cute.
Yeah, I want one of those, but I would probably like play with it for a few days and like forget about it.
Yeah, it's like, I agree. So, but here, chat, if you're caught up and watching us right now, tell us what your favorite gadget announcement this year has been so far. We would love to see. Now, speaking of, I'm going to go back into the chat to see what people have said. Michael in the chat says Pixel Slate with the stand for sure. Ha ha ha. First of all, it's called the Pixel tablet because the
Pixel Slate is a different device.
It died.
I still have one.
I still have one too. Yeah. Nice. I have my own little. Oh, that's what I'm gonna do this Halloween. I'm gonna make it like a gadget
graveyard. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you put Stadia in there? Because
I have a Stadia controller.
Do you?
Too soon.
In a box, unopened.
That's too soon, Nathan. Too soon.
I'm sad about it too. It's just another case of Google being Google, where like great idea, decent implementation, no support.
Did you play Stadia?
No, I think it was a horrible idea, but still too soon though. Too soon.
It's not too soon. Stadia's been dying for like, I guess
a year plus.
Yeah. Erod the Bod says the PSVR 2 teaser has you quite intrigued in the tech world. PSVR 2. That was announced like unceremoniously at this gaming thing recently, right? I remember seeing.
Yeah, it's been announced for a bit. They've been teasing out stuff on it for a good long time. But I think it's got to be finally coming out soon. There may be a release date. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they announced it earlier this year. They teased it over a year ago. Yeah, it's been a long, slow leak for this. Hopefully we'll get the real deal soon. But
yeah. There's a few important questions being asked too. So Guillaume at first says, when is the Samsung Developer Conference? Haha, today.
Is it today?
It's today. It's about like right now. It's today and tomorrow. So yes, Nate, I'm fully aware. If you look at some of our internal organizational things like Trello, you might see things in there. Just FYI. And Jonathan Anderson did say NDAs are a pain, but I want to point out that Mark Dell said you want more Quest Pro talk. All I can say is come tomorrow, because we will have Sam Rutherford from our team on the podcast tomorrow, and he has actually played with them. So with it, so
he's got the goods.
Yes. And then Mark Apollo says, when will Apple announce this new iPads? And Cedric was like, November, but don't quote me. Cedric, should we quote you? Like, well, what'd you do? Like, well, do you work for someone that's in the know?
What do you know?
But the sense that we get is not November, but the end of October. That's what we think. And then people were like, are you calling Cherlynn a hobbit?
Sometimes. No, I mean, just what's your height?
5'6".
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty tall.
All right, that's pretty normal.
I'm right. Like small human. I mean, look, if I give off short energy, I'm down for it. And then I'm like,
you definitely.
Really?
I guess I haven't seen you in person in like 2.5 years now. So
this is true. Have I not seen you in that long? All right.
I don't think so. That's crazy.
Buddy305 Love said, Stadia is a case of everyone buying into a company that doesn't specialize in gaming, right? Like if Microsoft has, but if Microsoft was the one that launched Stadia,
well, they're killing it with Xbox Game Pass.
Oh yeah, see, there you go. It's very sad. I don't know.
It's 5-6 rounding up.
And then people are like, "Whoa, bummed that they're missing the Samsung event." It's Samsung's fault for picking Microsoft Day to do their developer conference, and B, it's a developer conference. Like, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's not going to be the most exciting one.
Julio is playing. I was like, am I causing trouble with my screen right now? No, he's making me look like I'm 5 feet tall. I am a small human.
What could Julio possibly be doing to you? Oh, I see. Oh, yes. I missed yep.
First of all, I just want to point out how impressive it was that Julio was able to not only stand in for you while you were like your internet issues were, being fixed. He's also like manning the live stream the whole time. So he's like both coherently thinking things and saying things, then also managing to like make sure things are running well on the back end. So everyone in the chat, please give a hand to Julio Barrientos, who we would not be able to come to you live without. Amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty good multitasking right there.
Julio, do you want to take a verbal bow?
Yeah, let me come clean with the chat. It was really hard for me to follow the event, the actual Microsoft keynote. So when you were asking questions, bringing on points, I was a bit lost. But I did catch the whole audio and video segment, which was something that I was actually listening to. So I'm just coming clean, you talked about the one thing you paid attention to. Yeah, the one time you bring me on is the one time I'm not really following the conversation. Yeah. But that's how it is. But anytime I'll step in.
We can't wait to bring you on even more. I want you to put your game face on every time, so that people can see your face, not just your Spider-Man outfit.
No, by game face, I think we mean your face attached to Spider-Man, ideally.
J_Lucky says Julio's a cutie.
Hey,
you've only seen a picture. I don't know. I feel like there could be lies. This could be a catfish.
Could be a little AI. But I can also bring in some hot takes too if you want me to, if I'm allowed to.
But don't say that.
I think uninformed hot takes are the best ones.
Julio,
just like go off.
When you chime in, please do. Yes. A lot of people clapping in the chat for Julio. Thank you all very much. Also, since we're showing appreciation, I want to thank our closed captioner, because that's a very thankless task, and there's always a lot of crosstalk and a very difficult job. So thank you for.
Sorry, fun fact: we don't have a closed captioner today. Well, at least a human. We have a AI closed captioning.
Okay, well, thank you, little AI, for you're a sweet human, and we appreciate you.
Nice.
And also a shout out for Nate. There is a comment in the chat. Ruindig says Chromebook for cloud gaming is so strange. What is your thoughts? Because I know you're a bit of an expert in this area.
Yeah, I would agree it's a little strange, but the thing that's interesting to me is that the hardware that was announced from Lenovo, Acer, and Asus is all pretty affordable for like, there's they have large screens, 2560 by 1600, great resolution, 120 hertz refresh rate. Based on the screen alone, I would have expected them to cost more. But I think the Acer one is like 650 with an i5, with good storage, with a really nice keyboard, with a really nice screen. So like, even if you're not into gaming, but like a larger screen Chromebook, like boom, there you go. It's really nice. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be really nice. We'll try it out soon, I'm sure. The focus on cloud gaming is interesting. Because the places where Chrome has been super successful has been in education and to a lesser extent enterprise, right? So it's not like human beings like you or I going on being like, I need a laptop that can play games, but I don't want to spend as much money. Like, it seems like it's a niche of a niche, but it sounds like Google's gonna like push it. So we've heard that before, though, I suppose.
Right. And just like, here we are on one hand talking about Stadia dying on, and then in almost the same breath, we're like Chromebook for cloud gaming.
Well, I mean, I think that just gets to like the two parts of Google not talking to each other, right? Like, the Chromebook for cloud gaming team is like, we're agnostic. They're supporting GeForce Now and Amazon Luna and Xbox Game Pass. So, they're like, we don't care what you play it, but we're going to optimize it to work with all the good cloud gaming services out there. Meanwhile, like the Stadia side of the crew has been like, gutted and shut down. And yeah, it's a very Google situation. You wouldn't see that like anywhere else.
Yeah. This just reinforces my idea that like for this year's Halloween, I'm going to do like a Google Chromebook, a Google graveyard, but I don't know, all device graveyard, right? Like, again, bringing it back to Microsoft because we keep deviating like all good conversations do. Yep. But the Surface Neo, something we haven't seen, something that might be dead in the ground before it even sees the light of day, was not something we saw today. We didn't see a Surface Duo today, and of all the things we saw today, I am very not excited for anything, really. I am just I like the accessibility stuff. You can 3D print some custom grips for the Surface Pen.
Sweet.
There you go. Yeah. So I think it's about time to wrap because no one else told us what their favorite gadgets of the year was. Yeah. Everyone was just like either that or
hanging us out to dry.
Yeah, I might have missed a lot of the actual chat because I got distracted again, probably. But yeah, no, people seemed really excited about the Pixel Watch, Pixel Tablet, Steam Deck. So it seems like we've got a lot of Google fans here. Mr. Echo was like Xiaomi Ultra 12S for the camera, which yes, I remember we saw that. Cedric Villani was like, Snapdragon Spaces. And so, yeah, CF542 was the most exciting bit of tech so far are the AirPods Pro 2 and the Bose Buds 2. So, I mean, you know what?
Billy would agree.
Yeah. All I'm hearing, though, is that, like, what this world is subjective, right? Everyone's got their favorite things. Yeah. Maybe to someone like Nate, Chromebook for cloud gaming is the big news of the week. For me, it was the Apple Watch Ultra because I got to take a hike and work. And
I get to play some games for work. So
yeah. So what might be the biggest news of the year for us might not be the same for you, and that's okay. But
we're heading into end of the year, so I'm sure we will have a big old wrap up on what excited our entire staff, right?
Yes, and please, if you have any thoughts, leave them in this comment chat window, or you can send us emails or tweet at us. We're at Engadget on Twitter. You can just send the email to podcast@engadget.com just because that's an open one that I can look at. And if you have any tips for news or scoops, send them to tips@engadget.com. I guess. Yeah. Good. Make sure they're good tips too. But yeah, no, throughout the year, we've been covering all of this stuff and we will continue to cover it. Not to mention Prime Day Part 2 going on right now. So you can always go to.
If you want a hashtag deal, go get it.
Yeah, if you're behind on your holiday shopping or you just want to get some deals, and I guess you don't mind supporting Amazon. Check, yeah. And we our senior commerce editor Valentina Palladino has been doing a really great job, and also a very thankless job of collecting all of the deals and making sure they're up to date and they're just, only about products that we like and that we know are good.
Yep.
So there you go. Go to Engadget.com. And again, as a reminder, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, come to the Engadget YouTube channel. Join us for another live session, a live stream of the Engadget podcast recording. I myself will be here along with our senior editor, Devinder Hardwar, and Sam Rutherford. We'll be talking about today's news, this week's news, just
next week's news.
Next week's news as well. Nate, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on. Where can people find you online?
I am on Twitter at Nate Ingram.
Yeah.
And I publish stuff on Engadget sometimes.
And I am on Twitter and on Instagram.
Others.
Everywhere. Yeah, a lot. I'm very online. I'm on Twitter at Cherlynn Low. Again, come back tomorrow. And then, final shout out roll call. D-Man7895, Mr. Echo, Sani Uba Sharif, Cliff Pajaro, Guillaume FR. I'm sorry you all have questions now. Come back tomorrow. Bring them tomorrow. We will get to them tomorrow. So Jonathan Anderson, Mark, CF542, Craig Meck, Kenta Kawaguchi. I wish I could say all your names, but I could not. There's only so much time. And special thanks to our live stream team, Julio Barrientos, and our little AI closed captioner, and whoever else is on the team. I think Luke Brooks did the graphics, so thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Later.